Welcome to On the Internet with Jason, a podcast where we explore the latest headlines, news, and interesting topics we find on the Internet. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for, joining us this morning. I was just telling the guys I got not one, but two coffees with me. A lot of you might not know this, but we actually recorded an hour and a half session in a single shot, and then we split that up in many different ways for your guys' enjoyment. But thank you for taking the time to come check this out. So I need two coffees to kind of get through this. Today I have with me Mr. Jeff Tessier. Jeff, what's up? How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good. And then I have the Austin.
Good morning.
Doesn't even flinch at it anymore. He knows he's the Austin.
It's just everyone. Hey, other people got their Beyonce. We have our Austin. How you guys doing? What's going on? It's been a while.
Yeah, I've been fighting a cold, but always surviving otherwise.
You know what? I got to be honest with you guys. You know, this is like my favorite time of the year. I don't know when this is going to air, when it's going to go out there, but it doesn't really matter because we're getting really close to the holidays. And, you know, we're just set for Thanksgiving right now, but this is when like marketing like just starts to explode and just everything out there. So I love watching everything that's going on and stuff like that. And I love this particular podcast because we get to cover anything that we like or see. So what do we got? We got news, we got articles, and just frankly, whatever the hell we thought was entertaining.
Headlines.
Yep. Headlines. God, I loved. Yes, headlines. All right. So what headline, Austin, do you have for us first this morning?
Yeah. So, in the spirit of Black Friday, Amazon released a statement that they're going to be, I guess, Hyundai will be selling vehicles on Amazon starting in 2024. They aren't going to sell like directly to Amazon. It's going to sort of be they're going to connect you with a dealership in your local area, but
yeah,
you
they
will
don't,
be able
to deliver it to my house and just like take a picture and then send it to me and let me know my car's arrived, right? Okay, making sure.
Right.
Just making
yeah. So
no, I don't get this like monster Amazon box like in my front yard, right? Like this that doesn't happen.
That would be really cool.
But
it would be bad. Wouldn't that be badass? Like I actually think they should do that. I think the car should show up in a shipping container in the shape of an Amazon box, and it's just like the flap just, and then I want someone to take a picture, and then I get that ding and letting me know that my car's arrived. When I first heard this, like the first headline, I was like, that would be fun. Anyway, so yes, it's really more amount of connecting people to people, right? This is people helping people, right? What's that from that movie? What's it, Wedding Crashers? It's people helping people.
That's right.
what do you think this means for the future of the auto industry, I guess?
Look, I think it's cool. You know, I didn't really, think too much of it. I almost kind of looked at it as if what it felt like to me when I first read through the article was it felt to me like it's the Costco program, just different. I don't think a lot of people realize, but there's, a Costco has had this automotive program for many, many years, and through certain OEM partners, you can get additional discounts and deals if you're a Costco member. And this to me felt like just the Amazon version of that. So, when I pay, what do I pay for Prime? I don't know. What's Prime these days?
It's like
per year.
Is it really? I thought it was $59.99. Am I really paying over $100?
Well, you're American too, so it might be cheaper for you.
Yeah, it might be different.
I think we're paying like $89 here a year plus taxes or something like that. $99.
It's like a Costco membership, right? I mean,
Basically.
In the same wheelhouse, of having kind of this membership. So I don't know. When I read through it, I was just like, oh, okay. So this is like the Amazon version of the Costco program, which, by the way, I think will be cool. The Costco program, there's not a whole lot to it. You pretty much, I don't even know if most people even know that the Costco has a program. It's like when when you're done, in buying your, your truck full of crap, and you're on your way out, and the one guy that pulls open the 4 foot long receipt and somehow goes, "Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it's all there.
that looks good." By the way, I can't. Sorry, I know I'm going squirrel, but like, what the heck? You open up a 4 foot long receipt, you take about not even 2.5 seconds, go, "Yeah, you got that," and then hand it back to me. I'm like, really? That works? That works? Like,
Is it
Amazon,
just for show? Like, what is that for?
yeah, but I mean, Amazon, like, I don't know, you guys know this, but like, they have some stores in they're fully unmanned stores, and I've seen what was it? I was in an airport, so I go up to it, and it asks me for I scan my Amazon account. So like, I scan my Amazon account, I walk into the store, I walk around, I grab stuff, and I literally walk out, and then I get a ding. Right, you got charged $16.97. Like, you know what I mean? But Costco, well, they still got a guy that's going to check your 4 foot long receipt. Anyways,
Crazy.
the Costco program is a 6 foot standing banner that's about 2 feet wide and 6 feet high, and it just kind of stands there. Nobody actually ever notices it. So I actually do think, but it does work. Here's the funniest thing I thought: the Costco program does work. It's worked very well for Ford. I know it's worked very well for Chevy. I just recently saw Volvo and Polestar actually getting involved into the Costco program. And it's funny how, and the reason, guys, I'm saying this is because how horribly marketed it is, and how it does quite well. Now, the reason I say that is because I think Amazon is not going to have a 6 foot standing banner on your way, checking out, where the person takes your 4 foot long receipt and just says, "Yes, you have it." Right? They're going to be way more smarter about this, and I think they're going to do really well with it. I actually think they'll do really well with it. Now, combine that with just how sexy Hyundai products are getting. I don't know, Austin, while we're talking real quick, can you pull me up a picture of the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe? But just like, and then also, maybe, I don't know if they have it, but what's the Ionic 5? That's their EV.
Yeah.
So they made this. So the Ionic 5 is, I think, one of the ugliest EVs out there, to be totally frank with you, right? But they went and made an N version, which is a performance version, and it comes out next year, and I think it has almost 700 horsepower in this absolutely ugly looking car. So like, I think Hyundai, I love Hyundai. I think Hyundai, I just giggle. You know what I mean? But the new Santa Fe,
Wow.
look at this thing. Like,
Badass.
and I think that's more of just rendition. Click on the white one, or the top left corner there. That one right there. I think that's the one.
This is
The
the 2024. Yeah. This one's
yeah,
definitely real.
there you go. There you go. Jeff. That's a Hyundai,
It's nice.
right? Like, that looks like a Range Rover. In fact, actually, the front end looks better than a Range Rover. Anyways, probably gonna get some comments for that one. So going back to this program, Amazon, all right, since Costco fumbled their way and was quite good in their program, I think Amazon is going to crush it with their program. And yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. I can see why Amazon went with Hyundai first. Hyundai, I think, as a company, has probably made one of the larger commitments to digital retailing than, I would say, maybe some of the other OEMs. I'm not saying other OEMs haven't made commitment to digital retailing, because they have, but Hyundai was really, really fast, and they really, really invested and enforced it at the dealership level, that every dealership embraces this digital retail mentality, not in the sense of it just being a tool, but an actual process that needs to be executed at the dealership. Hey, Shane, what's going on, man? I would hold on. Let me throw this up here. I gotta throw this up here. Here we go. What does it say? I can't read because my.
Would worry if Amazon buys Carvana.
Then they actually become the distribution. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? The funny thing is, if you look at what Carvana is missing, or not what they're missing, but what they've struggled with is in that vehicle distribution. Being able to distribute those vehicles across the country has always been a difficult thing. Like than other issues with paperwork and legalities of wet and digital signatures and blah blah blah, all this other stuff they've dealt with over the years. But I mean, if anybody is going to kind of say like, "Here, hold my beer," and watch me do it, yeah, it would be Amazon. So I'm with you, man. If I would be worried too if Amazon bought up Carvana. Um, you know, the funny thing is that would actually fit within their margins as well. Amazon, you know, but would Amazon do that, or would Amazon kind of maintain what they maintain right now of having this seller mentality? I think Amazon would. I think Amazon would kind of maintain this individual seller mentality. So I could see an Amazon dealer program where, as a dealer, just like right now, like I can be an Amazon seller. I can go and create my Amazon store and become a seller and sell whatever I want to sell, right? Um, I think dealers will have an option, and if I was Amazon, that's probably the model I would go with, because can I get 30,000 dealerships to give me a few $1,000s a month, to be a part of this program, and then upsell additional marketing and stuff. Yeah, why not, right?
I think
Um,
Amazon would literally do whatever's best for the customer. Like I think that's always their goal, is to do whatever's best for the customer in the quickest and most efficient way. And like, haven't they taken like sort of the carrier courier logistics in-house in some degrees, where they've bought their own fleet of cars and bought their own sort of
oh yeah, they
trucks
bought their own
and,
fleet of
delivery
cars. They
vehicles.
bought their own
So
fleet of EV vehicles. For me, where I live, it's all the EV trucks. Like they're all electric delivery trucks. These big electric delivery trucks with these really funny looking eyeballs for headlights.
that's really cool.
Excuse me.
But you know what's funny though? I did actually see them during the winter, and I think it was because they were having infrastructure issues. I was at the mall really early one time, and there was like 30 of them out there, and they're all plugged into this like big like shipping container looking thing. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I drive a little closer. It was a monster generator.
Oh wow.
They had this monster generator sitting in the middle of the parking lot of this mall, and they had like 40 of these trucks hooked to it. And I'm like, I don't know if that. Wait a second. The smoking.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, like I'm excited. I'm excited. You know what? When I see people that I think, and to your point, Austin, actually, your point's really, really good here. And I think anybody out there watching, listening, should kind of take note of what kind of Austin brought up there is that if you were to think of any company out there that you would call, you would describe, as being very customer centric, Amazon would definitely be one of the ones that I would consider. I mean, I'm actually having an issue right now with the purchase I made from Amazon. And I'm in this chat with the seller and Amazon, Amazon's kind of facilitating this amazing conversation between me and the seller. And, it's kind of like, there's this kind of, the seller's like, well, I'm not going to piss off Amazon. So what do you want? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, they got a pretty strict set of rules you got to follow if you want to
they
be a seller,
do.
right?
They
So,
do. Well, and Costco has that same thing too, right? If you're going to
yeah.
sell, if you're going to be Samsung, you're going to sell a TV there. If you're going to sell something there, like they have a very the reason I love buying TVs at Costco. By the way, I only buy my TVs at Costco. Why? Because they all come with 2-year warranties. You don't pay extra for it. They all come with 2-year warranties, right? But that was a part of the requirement. All right, that if the manufacturer is going to sell at a Costco, this is what you have to provide. Anyways, anything else on the Amazon thing? I mean, yes, very customer centric. If anybody's going to do it really well, it's going to be them. And I guess why, if I was a dealer, should I worry about this? Maybe if I'm a dealer that cares maybe more about myself than my customers, yes, I should be worried about it. But if I'm already a dealer operating and all of my processes, my people, my technology, and my marketing efforts are customer centric, and my culture is customer centric, then I actually think, hey, embrace Amazon with open arms. I
Yeah.
think it'll be cool. What else? What other headlines kind of popped up this week, Austin?
So this is a Bloomberg article, and they're saying among new car buyers, those carrying negative equity on their trade-ins were underwater by an average of almost $6,000.
Oh man, fuck! Knew this was coming. We all knew it was coming, right? Like we all knew this was coming.
Wow, it's only going to get worse.
Jeff, you've dealt with this for a long time too, man. What do you think? Like,
Well, I mean, if you remember, during the peak time of the inventory shortage, there were dealers charging premiums, in-stock premiums, right? Rates then quickly climbed up to 5, 6, 7, 8%. So if you've got a $5,000-$10,000 in-stock premium plus you're financing that at 6, 7%,
yeah,
that customer, when he comes back in 2 years, 3 years, he's going to be looking to buy a car, and it's going to be utterly scary. 6,000 seems awfully light to me, because I remember when I was
6,000, dude, is just the beginning part.
Yeah, it seems like, because when we were selling cars, we had quite a few customers that it was average 5, 6 to me, I thought. But
Well, you know what? We can deal. But you're right, though. I mean, like we can deal with.
you can add another 20 to 30% of the car,
But
then you're encroaching on what, though? You're snowballing. You're extending another year, like 8 years, and what now? What's next? 9 years? And we talked, I think, the last time about these balloon payments. I don't know. This is getting scary.
it's getting scary, and I think what we're seeing is the tip of the iceberg. You know what I mean? Like when you think of an iceberg, when you see it sitting in the water, really what you're seeing is only about 20% of, or not even 10% of its mass. The entire rest of it's sitting underneath it, and that is literally what is happening here, guys. And it's going to happen over the next 24 months, like it or not. Some markets are going to be more affected than others. Some brands are going to get more affected than others. Some dealerships will be more affected than others. I think it does kind of base on how you operated through that COVID. Remember COVID, that kind of that rock, drop the rock into the water, that ripple effect. And now we're getting to the point where this is one of the ripples that we knew was going to happen. When we were selling cars $7, $8, $10, $15, $20,000 over MSRP, we can't do that without someday dealing with that shit. Like,
Gotta pay the piper at some point, right?
Exactly. Like, hey, if you're one of those dealerships and you're doing it and you're one of those salespeople and you made a ton of money, congrats, but you screwed your client. I don't care what you said. Oh, but market demand. It's supply and demand. I don't give a shit if it's supply and demand. It still doesn't change the fact that we now have to deal with this. You know what I mean? Like, just because you feel like, well, supply and demand says I can do this, so I should do this, and you wanted to use that as an excuse, or you wanted to use any other excuse, all right, to do stupid stuff like that. Here it is. All right, we're seeing just the tip of this iceberg, and it's going to continue to grow from there. You're selling it. Yeah, look. I'm trying to not get too negative about this. But like I said, and it's going to vary. See, here's the kicker. It's going to vary very differently. It's going to vary between manufacturers. It's going to vary depending on like regions across the country. All right. It's going to also depend also on the dealership itself. Like this is going to impact everybody in a very, very different way. But here's the bottom line. If you're watching and listening to this and you pride yourself on being a proactive dealer and proactive in your operations and your process and your technology, then, you need to be having a conversation. Like, be the bloody Boy Scout, be prepared. I think that was the motto. Yeah, I remember. Hey, we got a cool comment from Sean Cross. What does Sean say, Austin?
It would have been way worse prior to COVID sales. Then the market exploded on used, getting a lot of those negative equity customers out of their loans. Then after 2020, the market shifted.
Let's talk about Ford changing their EV pricing structure. Again, coming with it from the 6th of December. Hey, no, I know. We can talk about Farley as much as you want. That's funny. We don't talk too much about Farley on this podcast. That's probably because when I do Jim Ziegler's podcast, we talk a lot about Farley. So it's probably, I'm usually Farley'd out. But you know what? We could talk about EVs in a sense as well, announcing, they're, lowering their qualifications, to their top tier EV dealers and stuff like that. And um, I think that particular one, Sean, the one you just brought up, is just like, oh shit, did I really do that? And kind of having to go back and fix it. I'm not too worried about it though. It's funny. We talked about, I think not this podcast, but maybe a couple other podcasts ago, where we actually saw some headlines where people were saying, EV sales, or confidence. It was EV confidence in consumers were changing, and but then it's funny, you look at other market trends. Like I was at a conference recently with Polk Automotive, and they were reporting, just dramatic increase in EV sales. In fact, they were reporting EVs and ICE vehicles almost to be at par by 2030. So yeah, I'm not going to speculate too much because I do want to go back. I lost my train of thought. I went down a rabbit hole. Thank you, Sean, for the rabbit hole. I always appreciate a good rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, there was that period of time with the used cars where you were able to offer a customer more for their vehicle, right?
Well, that
But
again,
and maybe
it was an excuse.
offering them,
Overcharging. Well, hey, I'm paying $3,000-$4,000 more than I normally do for their trade-in. So me charging $10,000 MSRP, it's a wash. It's okay. It's not. It doesn't change the fact, all right, that they're going to come back with this major. So going back to that negative equity, proactiveness. We need to be prepared. We need to have the conversation. Right now, you're seeing the tip of the iceberg. That iceberg is going to show its ugly face more and more and more over the next 12 and 24 months. Is your dealership prepared for it? Are you guys prepared to deal with more non-prime business? All right. Are you guys prepared? And do you guys have a plan to deal with much bigger negative equity situations? What does that look like? Anyways, I digress. Go ahead. What else we got for headlines?
This is sort of along the same lines, but talking about that EV conversation, the prices of an average Tesla Model 3 has decreased by more than $9,000 since 2021. And yeah, that could be hitting on the same thing you were just talking about, how they were overly inflated. Now they're sort of readjusting.
Hey, look, everybody took it. Like OEMs took advantage, dealers took advantage of it. I was, very adamant that it was a stupid idea. I like to play for the long run, but hey, it is what it is. It happened, right? Bottom line is we have to deal with it. Now, Tesla's a little different because, and you can look up the stat for me, but I believe almost 90% of Teslas are leased, if not maybe over 90% of Teslas are leased. So them having a higher price, the only offset is going to be, it's going to be quite smaller in the sense of just what's the difference in the market value and in what the vehicle sits at that point in time when the vehicle comes back. But they take them back anyways, because doesn't he plan to turn them into automated robots that are going to control the world anyways? Like, I think that's why you don't typically see a whole hell of a lot of them, being sold on aftermarket stuff, right? Is, they're almost all leased. So anyways, so EVs, what was this specifically? What was the headline here specifically about EVs? The price drop, right?
Pricing.
Well, I look, next year, if I remember correctly, in Austin, I think we talked about this before. Is it 24 or 25 new EV vehicles are being released next year? Or the next 2 years?
Are they?
I think that's how many new EV models are being released over the next year. I believe it was something along that line. So you can fact check that for me. It makes sense. Look, EVs are now competitive, so we're going to have to change some pricing. So I think there's them having to change their price and lower their prices. I think two parts. One, because it was just a ripple effect from COVID. Two, all right, we just need to be more competitive now. There's more competition, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's better looking EVs out there than the Tesla, and with much higher quality, builds and stuff like that. I was in what was it? What's the Volkswagen? The ID4. I was recently in an ID4.
Oh, yeah.
I would take that over a Tesla any day of the week. The fit and finish in that thing was amazing. I also find the same thing with the Kia. the EV6. And speaking of Kia, they got a new model coming out, the EV9, which is going to be their SUV. So like there's a lot of new models coming out, and Tesla, they're going to be interesting, with better looking, better build quality EVs coming. Where does Tesla sit? What do they do? I mean, like the Model 3, the way it looks right now, I don't think it's fundamentally changed in how many years? What would you say, Jeff?
5 or 6, I think.
I mean, no, I think more, but yeah, I
More?
mean, you're right. I mean,
I would at least say 5 or 6.
yeah, I mean, the Model 3 just fundamentally hasn't changed, right?
More than 50 EVs expected
50.
to join in 2024.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You're going to see a huge pop over the next couple of years, right? Between models coming out and companies as well, right? Various manufacturers. So it's going to create a more competitive market where they're going to have to review that pricing structure that they've got. So what is the starting price of a Tesla 3 then,
Yeah, what is it now?
Austin? Because weren't they like 50 something before? Just gonna check.
And then after this, I do. Sean brought up a couple. Thanks, by the way, for participating today, Sean.
38,990.
Wow.
Down from 40,000.
Well, look, here's the interesting thing. As more vehicles get in there, more pricing becomes more competitive. This kind of segues into what Sean was saying here in the comment boxes. Around Ford, not allowing dealerships to market below MSRP. I hear like this next week or something like that. I think it is. So in all pricing is going to go directly through Ford, and then really the dealership is just going to be the facilitator. I mean, it sounds to me, it's like I honestly don't think that process is going to last long, to be totally frank. I don't believe it will. I think Ford will find out real quick that they think it's an easy process to facilitate, and it's not an easy process to facilitate. But yeah, we're going to see. We're going to here are manufacturers entering into the EV market, and they thought they're going to be able to enter into the EV market at this price point. Now all of a sudden, shit got competitive. All right. Tesla's dropping their prices. These guys are coming out with less expensive ones. So, you think people for example, I think when the Ford Lightning came out, what was a Platinum? I think was $90,000 or over. That's around $90,000 US, and I think over $110,000 Canadian or something like that. I mean, like that's guys,
It's heavy.
It's an F-150. It's an F-150, right? And so I think what they're realizing is that they thought they can maintain a certain margin, all right, on these EVs, but now to be competitive, I mean, Austin, you just said it, 50, guys, brand new models. So 50 vehicles that we didn't even have as an option. Now, I'm sure some of those are probably weird and they're not going to be mainstream and so on and so forth, but like 50 brand new models getting brought into the space, that's going to make shit competitive. So yeah, Ford's trying to do something about it. I'm sitting back enjoying every moment of me watching it because Jim Ziegler hates me saying this, but I am a EV lover. I like my EVs. They go fast. By the way, that Hyundai Ioniq 5 N model with like the 700 horsepower or something like that I was talking about is supposed to retail for $70,000.
Wow.
Hey Jeff, you want to buy a $70,000 Hyundai?
I'll take 3. Jeez.
Okay, what do we got? I got Sean jumped in. He says it's still $98,000 actually. The Lightning's still 98 grand MSRP. Like, yeah. Look, it's okay. I think it's manufacturers figuring this crap out. Sorry, you pull up. You got this pulled up. I want to see what are some of the. You were looking at some of the new EVs coming out this next year. Austin, any of them catch your eye?
Yeah, there's a lot of really unique ones for sure.
Oh, the Volkswagen bus. I want it. Sign me up.
Alfa Romeo.
Wow.
Apparently, Apple's got a Titan
Yes.
EV. Audi A6.
Oh, is that the Audi e-tron? I do like an e-tron.
Yeah,
It did. I actually
that's gonna be
actively
insane.
like e-tron.
Bentley, BMW.
Oh, I read an article where they ripped up that Bentley. $500,000 and like it has the same range as like a Nissan Leaf.
I was gonna say I was well out of my price range.
Look at this one. That's cool.
Can you?
That looks like one I would own. It's like,
Goodness gracious.
hey guys, look, I know we're going over our time. We have gone over this time, but this has been such a great topic. So I imagine we'll continue to always talk about EVs. Austin, these are some great headlines. There are some good headlines. If you're out there watching, though, look at these headlines. If you kind of look at the few that we've taken a look at, a lot of them had to do with just being proactive, especially when it comes, especially with the headline around negative equity. If you guys don't have a strategy right now from a fixed operation side, a variable side, a finance side of how you're going to handle this, and look, it's just a matter of asking yourself the question, what does it look like when 10, 20, 30, 40% of our customers start showing up with negative equity in, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000.
Unresolvable.
We saw the banks already get super tight and nervous, and some actually bounced out of the automotive space. This is not going to help them, their confidence with automotive financing, these big negative equities. So get ready. And when it comes to EVs, get ready. Figure out how you're going to be competitive. 50 new models coming next year. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this. William, Sean, everybody that's dropping comments in down below. If I missed you, I apologize if I missed you. Really appreciate you guys' involvement today. Thank you. And we're going to jump to our next show. So stick around. It's coming up right after this.
Thanks for tuning in to On the Internet with Jason. To stay up to date with all our content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.